welcome to today's video where we will be discussing and rating Brother Bear.
So, what happens in Brother Bear?
The guy gets turned into a bear because he kills a bear and learns the error of his ways by caring for a bear cub. He then gets turned back into a man, but it's like, no, the bear cub doesn't like me, so I'll be a bear again. Also, his dead brother's an eagle. The end.
Okay, yeah. Right, goodbye. Have a magical rest
Yeah.
of... we'll
That's
see.
pretty much how I feel about this video.
Brother Bear. Yeah.
Is awful. Should not have been made.
Why is it awful?
Because it just is. Like,
Why you can't? We're reviewing now. We can't just
yes,
go
we
rubbish
can.
because
You can. This is my channel. I don't know. I watched it in the cinema originally when it came out and hated it. And then I rewatched it the other day. And I didn't think it was possible to dislike this movie even more. Yet somehow there was a tiny shred of me that found myself to dislike it more. I just don't relate to it. I think it's because I don't have siblings. And it's a movie all about siblings and about brotherly love. And I just don't have that. And that is fine. And I don't relate to it. It's a really male-driven...
Yeah, there's only one female character, I believe.
Yeah, there's who's the elderly woman.
Yeah, it's a very...
It's a really male-heavy plot. And just as a young girl watching it, I just could not relate. So I just didn't care, and then as an adult, again, I just don't care.
Okay. I don't think it being male heavy is a negative thing, though. I think it's just a story about brothers, and having a female character would have almost been less positive.
Well, they do in the sequel. So in the sequel, he gets a love interest.
Again, that's worse for women. I don't know. Right. Well, what I'll say about Brother Bear is it finally feels like the experimental era is now starting to feel Disney. Brother Bear,
you just wait until the next one.
Brother Bear is definitely a Disney product. Compared to Treasure Planet, Atlantis, Dinosaur, I'm not there going, is this Disney?
They've let's go back to animals because this has gone well for us.
It reminded me of so the modern era is let's go all the way back to the classics and a little bit of the Renaissance, and what did that do well? The experimental era seems to have gone kind of into the more, it reminds me of Fox and the Hound is probably
that's fair.
but also just those let's use animals to kind of tell a moral, which
the moral of kids is don't kill bears.
I kind of like that they told it like that because Brother Bear feels Disney, and I give that a slight plus.
I like the music. I will talk about the music. This will be my contribution to this.
I go on talk about the music.
The music is done by Phil Collins. Yay! We stand Phil Collins. The same great man who brought you Genesis and, more importantly for this, the Tarzan soundtrack. I like the soundtrack for this movie. I like the song On My Way. There are other songs in it that I can't remember the name of, mainly because I played On My Way a hell of a lot on my Disney CD when I was a kid. And Phil Collins, God bless his soul, sang them again in German and French and some other languages that he sang the Tarzan soundtrack in, but he also sang the songs in Japanese as well. The Japanese dub this film. The music made me cry, again. There's one scene where Kenai, who is the main bear, is explaining to Coda that his mum's not coming back because Coda tells the story about his mum, and then Kenai realizes that he's talking about him and his brothers killing the mum when he was a human, and that is just set to music, and it's a really well done scene, and that did make me cry because of the music.
But also that scene is really well done anyway, because he's counting over the plot about how he was this selfish person in his tribe that hates bears just because that's how he's grown up.
And his spirit animal is a bear.
Yeah, and he hates this. He ends up killing a bear that accidentally killed his older brother, and he's punished by turning into a bear.
Yeah.
And it's a massive, lengthy plot. And this is the moment where he has to tell this young bear cub that he killed its mother. And that's an emotional scene, an important scene, but it's also quite a plot-heavy scene. So to get over this, like Gemma says, they play it over the song, but they also let just select sentences bleed through the song. And that's directed so well, and it's so powerful, and probably the best moment of Brother Bear.
Yeah.
It's also the moment you're like, know's going to happen right from the start. You're just like, this is going to be an awkward scene. So you kind of, in many ways, it's what drives the film, waiting for this moment, and it delivers. Um, right, right. So Brother Bear drives from those older Disneys, not classic Disneys, but kind of like the after classic Disney.
Dark Age Disney.
Well, not even Dark Age, just later day classics and early dark.
So Dark Age and Renaissance then.
Sort of. Which is good, but I think also that was the kind of Disney that was told quite a lot. So when you are going from Disney to Disney to Disney, like we are for this series, it kind of felt original but not original at the same time. My feeling with Brother Bear is that it's quite an unoriginal Disney, but to make it original, they dove in deeper than they've ever dove before. The characters, I feel, are more complex. The situation is more complex. The downside to that is that there's an awful lot of plot.
Yeah, it's just too weighty.
The main criticism to Brother Bear is, like, I say it feels more Disney, but I think the first half an hour doesn't particularly, because the main character, Joaquin Phoenix, not the Joker, but the lovable Inuit, who's not very lovable at all.
It just, right, this is another issue with this film, which again is my personal issue with the film. It's not the film's issue. I do not particularly like Joaquin Phoenix as an actor. Sorry, come at me in the comments.
She hasn't seen the Joker film.
I'm not going to see the Joker film. It's not happening. But I don't care if it's great. I don't want to watch it. Sorry. But I can't get over the fact that it's this bear talking with Joaquin Phoenix's voice. And it just fills me with this seething hatred for Kenai the bear.
I think that's your
Sorry.
opinion.
I was never going to get on board with this film.
So the bigger issue for the sensible people watching is that the main character is again the villain, like was my problem with Emperor's New Groove. However,
he does turn it around.
Yeah, and also we're not meant to like him. We're meant to eventually like him. Whereas with Cusco in Emperor's New Groove, like we're meant to like him even when he's horrible.
Well, you're meant to find him funny, aren't you?
And that was kind of my problem with Emperor's New Groove. Whereas at least with Brother Bear, I'm like, right, this main character's an idiot, but Disney knows I think he's an idiot, so that's okay.
That's the point of the film.
It just makes the start of the film very heavy and very dark too. Basically, someone's killed, and then the main character basically hunts down a bear, and that's kind of a weird start to a Disney. But when he does turn into a bear and ends up with this young Brother Bear,
I do like Kenai. I like Kenai the bear as a character. Just to point out, not Kenai Coda. Kenai can suck it.
Yeah, it's suddenly now it feels Disney, and it's like this reluctant sibling bond as they're trying to get to like bear paradise, where all the bears are, and
where all the salmon is.
Yeah, and along the way, it's like bears aren't so bad after all, and like actually
maybe bears are people too.
Basically, like quite a few Disneys, and again, this is a slight problem for Brother Bear, as we've covered this moral probably too many times before with Disney, that any enemy we probably just need to relate to a bit more, and then realise that they're probably in the same boat we are. And it's a good moral, and I feel like
it's just really overused by this point.
Yeah, and I think it's just top heavy, and I like the middle, and then the end is, I guess, adequate, although quite emotional. It's kind of a heavy Disney, but I don't think it's as bad as you make out.
I don't care about it.
I think you watched it with the wrong frame of mind. I'm not.
But even as a kid, I didn't like it. Like, I very specifically remember going to cinema to this and just being sat there as a child going, what have I been bought to see?
Yeah.
Like, but then I was like that with a lot of animation around this time. Like, Spirit, which was DreamWorks, came out around this time. Hated that. Hated Finding Nemo. Hated this. I was just not a happy 7 to 8 year old.
Yeah, however, any 7 to 8 year old that dislikes Finding Nemo is clearly just maladjusted.
I overwatched it.
And should be put to sleep.
It was everybody's birthday party when it came out. I don't need to, like, euthanizing because I don't like Finding Nemo.
Write in the comments if you agree.
Yeah, we're hitting some important things in this episode.
We've hit euthanasia, so that sounds like a good time to
fact.
go to a fun fact.
Wow, I'm going to be banned from Disney at this rate. So, Brother Bear was the last film to be animated, completely, fully animated at the Disney Studios in Florida, which was in the MGM, then MGM theme park. It is now Disney's Hollywood Studios. No animation goes on there. It was changed into computer animation. It's not done there anymore. It's like, it was a walk-through attraction. I have no idea. It's probably Star Wars or Toy Story by now.
Yeah.
Who knows? Not me. Also, the bears in like the salmon place.
Yep.
Which are voiced by some people as
Michael Clark Duncan, God rest his soul.
Are meant to look like the bears from the Country Bears Jamboree film and ride attraction in the park.
Again, experimental here. We're probably thinking too much about the merchandise, but then that's always been Disney's downfall.
I mean, the no merch was done from it. It was just like a fun background thing for animators.
Okay. Rating. To sound like a broken record, I'm gonna give another 4. I like it, but I do kind of agree with some of Gemma's points, although I think I'm probably voicing them in a slightly more debated way.
Yeah, sorry. This is really, really hard for me to do.
Put it this way, like Black Cauldron, I think, is our bottom.
Okay, fine. It can have a 2. And the only reason that it can have a 2, not a 1, is because Phil Collins does the soundtrack. And I can't do that to Phil Collins.
See, but whereas Black Cauldron, what you feel like everything they did, they made every bad decision along the way. You have to admit the Brother Bear does what it wants to do. So you have to
We are reviewing this in 2 very different ways. You are reviewing these films as a film critic. I'm reviewing these films as a Disney fan. Therefore, any rating that I have given throughout the entirety of this series is not to be taken seriously and not to be held up as any reputation of the film from a critical analysis. It's from my heart, and my heart wants to give it a 2 because Phil Collins is God and he doesn't deserve a 1.
Well, as far as I don't think you can call yourself a Disney fan if you give Snow White 3, but
yes, you can.
try and have a magical rest of your day. I know you won't be able to.
I won't either.
Goodbye.